Hey guys, Mr. T here for another typing video. We are finally in the final two. And anyone who's been paying attention, you know that the final two remaining are either electric or fire. Some of you have probably started to guess which one my favorite is based on certain Pokemon. And I guarantee you all know at least two of the Pokemon that are coming in these next two videos. Yeah, so with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. So my second favorite type of all time, and this one has stayed fairly consistent since I was a little kid. It's bounced back and forth here and there. There's a few times it popped further up into number one, but these next two types have never gone past one and two. Since the first Pokemon games I ever played and the first Pokemon I ever captured, they've always consistently stayed one or two. I've never thought of another typing that I ever would have put in the top two other than these two. But recently and consistently, it's been my number two has been fire. Now I know what you're thinking. Some of you who know me, especially know me fairly well, you're probably thinking, "Oh my God, fire! That was the one you were expecting me to put as number one," especially because, well, you should already know who my favorite Pokemon is. But my number one, which is electric, because I'm just gonna give it away because that's all there is left. Um, there's a lot more electric type Pokemon that I like, and I don't know. Honestly, it's like when I think about the actual elements behind the types, I don't know. It's just there's something about electric and electricity that just makes me like it more. You know what I mean? Plus, when I was looking at my favorite Pokemon, sorry, I'm yawning. Probably should cut that out, but who cares? When I was looking at my favorite Pokemon, I had more electric types than any other type. Yeah. So let's go ahead and dive in. So, quick rules. For Pokemon. My favorite pure type, favorite primary type, favorite secondary type, and then my least favorite type. And again, this is one of those least favorites where I don't hate it. Like I like this one less than Clobbopus from my previous video. Sorry for the spoilers, but you should have already watched that one first. Um, but it's just I don't know. It's another one of those Gen 5 Pokemon that just eh. So all right, so let's go ahead and dive in. So my favorite pure type Pokemon would have to be Cinderace. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You're probably immediately going through your head. Wait a minute, Cinderace is pure fire. Yeah, he is. Most of us, especially when we saw his design, most of us thought he'd be firefighting, like half of the fire starters. But again, he is pure fire, and he's a freaking awesome Pokemon. I mean, Cinderace is phenomenal. Easily hands down my favorite Pokemon from the Galar region. And honestly, the Galar region is probably one of my top three, if not my second favorite region of all time. I mean, it got a lot of hate, and I don't know why. I mean, the Pokemon were awesome. The world was awesome. It was actual open world. Parts of it were open world that were actually done right. Not counting Legends Arceus, I'm counting mainline games. Because Scarlet and Violet it was good, but it felt like Scarlet and Violet should have came before Sword and Shield or Legends Arceus. It felt like they went backwards with Scarlet and Violet. Like they tried to do the open world and they failed miserably at it. I wouldn't honestly mind if the next mainline Pokemon game kind of was like the Galar region, where they had linear world parts of the world with an open world aspect. Plus, honestly, I missed the adding a third game, like I mentioned in my previous video, but I actually didn't hate the DLCs for the Galar region. The Paldea region DLCs for Scarlet and Violet were a little underwhelming, especially because you're literally in what is effectively Spain, and they wouldn't even let you go to France, which is literally the Kalos region. So a little upset there. But yeah, Galar is awesome. Cinderace is phenomenal. I love so many Pokemon from that region. I think that game is so great. I literally just started a new playthrough on it the other day. And again, Cinderace, I mean, he's literally a soccer player. And anyone who knows me knows I love soccer. It's literally my favorite sport to watch. Plus he's got the Manchester United colors. Yeah, I shouldn't be saying I'm a Man U fan out loud right now with the way they're playing. But yeah, Cinderace is number one. Now, my favorite primary type fire. I'm sure you all expected this. Actually, probably not, because I'm going to shock a few of you with my choice. But I kept going back and forth. I think you all know who you want, who you expected it to be, but actually not really. Like the more I thought about it, I'm like, for the context of this video, it's not going to be him. Instead, my favorite primary type fire is Mag Cargo. I know some of you were probably shocked because you thought it was going to be a totally different. I can't do this anymore. It's Charizard. Let's be honest here, people. Um, I mean, I don't even think I need to explain myself at this point. If you've seen like two other videos that I've done, you know Charizard's my favorite. I am unapologetically a Charizard fan. You can call me whatever you want. You can call me a fanboy. You can call me, you know, a nerd. Whatever. I don't even know right now. It's late making these videos, but I love Charizard. I mean, Charmander was the first Pokemon I ever had in my life. He was my first stuffed animal Pokemon. I mean, I've had more Charizards from games to cards to toys than you could imagine. I just went through my old Pokemon cards and found my original Charizard from when I was like 4 years old, 5 years old. I mean, Charizard's always been around. I mean, I've continued to love him, and I'll continue to love him again till the day I die. This Pokemon is just perfect, especially once they gave him the Mega Evolution and turned him into an actual Dragon type. I mean, what more could you want? Like, I don't see how people hate Charizard. And people are like, oh, they shove him down our throats. Okay, he's an amazing Pokemon. They shove Pikachu down our throats, but he actually kind of sucks in the games. Only reason he's popular is because of Ash. Sorry, I was going on a Pikachu soapbox. But yeah, no one who's ever known me or met me should have been surprised by this. Now, my favorite secondary type. This one was kind of easy because there's really not a whole lot of secondary fire types. The Groudon was probably the one that came closest to knocking this one out, and I'm like, you know what, Groudon's cool and all, but he's not a favorite type or a favorite Pokemon list kind. So my favorite secondary type would be Houndoom. I mean, I love the Dark Fire matchup. He looks cool. Houndour, his unevolved form, is actually a pretty cool Pokemon too. And he's just an all around solid Pokemon. I also love some of the Gen 2 Pokemon. I mean, I think the Johto region also gets kind of a bad rap, but he's just cool all around. He's solid in battle. He's fun to play as, and the fire dark typing really helps complement him, especially against certain weaknesses to fire. Now, my least favorite fire type, again, this is one of those where I don't hate him, but it is kind of on the borderline. I kind of don't like him. Plus, I don't like the way he evolves either. And that is Darumaka. I hated having to do the whole Zen form, normal mode, and all that. It just, I don't know. It just got confusing in the black and white games. And again, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the black and white Pokemon games. I wish they would have kept the third game, and I get why they did. I get why they did the full revamp of Pokemon, but as a true fan from the beginning, I wanted new, not a revamp. But again, I get it. I get why they did it, and I get some people like it. And if you like Darumaka or Darumatian, whichever his evolved form's name is, go for it. This is not one of those few I hate. There's very only a handful of Pokemon I legitimately hate. Miltank. But yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So stick around for my electric video. And again, I can tell you that because if you've been paying attention, you know that's the only type left. I think you're gonna pretty much figure out who's on that list. One of them should be fairly obvious. One or two of them actually. Oh, I can't stop yawning. So, thank you for sticking around and stay tuned for my electric video.